There is one super powerful feature in Live that I don't see a lot of people use on daily basis. Maybe it's because on paper it feels like restricted only for trained musicians or people with controllers like Push, or even more expensive, expressive keyboards. Nothing more wrong, my friend. All stock instruments in Live are capable of it by default, including Simpler and the new drum sampler. Yes, you can modulate drums as well, but more on that later. The basic form of MPE is pitch bend slide. I made a super cringy video about it a while ago, but it needs an update. There is no more note expression panel here on the left. In Live 12 we got dedicated MPE tab. All you get to do is to select the note you want to slide and then simply draw a curve. And yeah, it's cool, but MPE offers more than that. There are two more ways, or I should say two more parameters to work with: pressure and slide. I made a simple lead line and meld, since it's really easy to get an idea about MPE here. So pitch bend is assigned here by default, but let's just say I want to control the detune with the slide parameter. Okay, I'm using pads on my Push to demonstrate that, but as I promised, here is how to do this by hand. So once you double click on your MIDI clip and go to MPE tab, there are obviously two more rows here. First one is for the slide we adjusted before, and the second one is for the pressure. It also means that if I want to, for example, pitch bend this note down, maybe -7 semitones, in the same time I can also use the slide and increase the detune value. And obviously all the slide adjustments needs to be done in this row. So for example, let's just try this one. Just like with automations you do in arrangement view, you can make those lines, you can bend them to make them a little bit smoother, or you can go to draw mode with B and then hold Command to draw any type of shape you can imagine. It's also up to your imagination which parameters you want to modulate with slide and pressure. Let's just say I want to modulate this motion with pressure. Just increase the amount of modulation. Obviously, if you have your motion set up like that, the modulation will go from 0 to 100%, but if you have something like in the middle, you can then decide if you want to modulate down or up. And then once again, once I get into, maybe just delete this beautiful curve. I know it's beautiful, but that might be inappropriate for YouTube gods, and try to do something with pressure here. And increase the detune as we also have it here. So meld is pretty cool and easy to use with MPE. Now, before I show you how to do this in Serum and step up your sound design game, first, let's check if the like and subscribe buttons are pressed, and then let's go over the drum modulation I mentioned before. So, Live 12.1 introduced the new device called Drum Sampler. You can and should use it with other sounds than drum as well, since it has some cool effects. But for the sake of keeping it simple, let's just focus on this snare. So it is cool to play with all of those knobs and then adjust different parameters of each effect, but modulation gives much freedom, and as you can see, you have two modulation sources. First one is velocity, and once I click it, it changes to slide. Now, if your attention span isn't screwed by 2 seconds cat videos, that should ring a bell already. So FX1 or 2 simply means the first or the second knob for this effect. So let's just say I want to modulate this factor knob here. So with slide selected, the same as in meld, I can increase the modulation amount to 100%. So once again, all you got to do is to go to your MIDI clip, change to MPE tab, and let's just say I want to have this effect happening on the second snare. So let's just say this one will be slightly less modulated. So if someone from Ableton watching this, I hope so, it would be pretty damn cool to be able to modulate the second FX knob as well, or just change, for example, different sources of modulation. But yeah, as for now, we only been able to modulate one single knob, but it's still pretty damn cool if you ask me. With stock tools, it's pretty straightforward, but setting up MPE in third-party plugins can be quite confusing. So let's go over the everyone's favorite Serum. First, you obviously need to enable the MPE mode, and it's actually hidden here in menu. So let's click that, MPE mode enabled. Sometimes with different plugins, you also need to right-click the device window and enable MPE mode here as well. As you see, MPE in Serum controls macros, and I actually went with YZ to macro 1 and 2, with Y being the slide and the Z being the pressure. With slide, I control the filter control and resonance, and pressure is responsible for fine-tuning the second oscillator. So let's just adjust the slide for this note. And detune of the second oscillator would actually sound cool here. It creates that little bit of a pitch shift. So I just do some cutoff modulation here. And do something here, right in the middle. But the coolest part about the MPE is that once you have chords, for example, you can adjust those 3 parameters for each note separately. But I get it, it seems like pretty time consuming to draw those single parameters, but luckily we have some Max for Live devices that can help us with that.